Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Opportunistic Trader. It's just afternoon on January 8th, and we're joined by Mark Fisher. For those of you who don't know, Mark is a frequent CNBC guest and influential member of the futures industry, globally respected trader, a guest speaker at industry conferences, and the best-selling author of The Logical Trader. How's it going today, Mark?
Good, Mike. What's up?
So I want to talk markets. Want to get your thoughts. We've got, we haven't spoken in a week or two. The last time we spoke, you were talking about paper assets being a sale. Since then we've had a lot of activity. VIX traded up to 35, crude down to 40. Now we're back up just under 50. What are you thinking to start the year?
Well, I think really the start of every year is very complicated because it's always very volatile. My thesis overall is to still sell paper assets, but I would wait until we get a range for the first 2 weeks of the year. And then usually first 2 weeks of the year are sort of like a range. And if we're below the first 2 weeks of the year in whatever asset class, that gives me more conviction to get short. Above those first 2 years gives me more of a conviction to be long. So right now, for instance, the S&Ps are obviously above the first of the year. The bonds are about to be below the first of the year pretty soon. Natural gas is nowhere. Crude's above the first of the year. So I would look to see where we are around January 15th and then figure out then. I think everything in there is a lot of noise. There's a lot of, people catching up and things like that. But overall, if the market sets up where, the hard pick that spread between, short S&P, short bonds sets up with it's below the first of the year after the first 2 weeks collectively, that gives you a great place to put on a trade. And you know where your risk is. It's the other side of the range.
So as example, like crude, like the range right now is roughly 45 to 50. So you're saying so in crude, would you kind of trade from the long side with a stop below the low of the year sort of thing?
Exactly.
And so it's similar to like it's an ACD, similar to like the
right,
way.
and I'd be a buyer of dips. Like the only thing that obviously we talked about last time was natural gas. That weather was the big wild card, and obviously the weather, got really mild, and so the natural came off 80 cents. But again, I would use natural as the first of the year. I would use. I think the other complicating factors, you got all these rolls coming in right now. The next couple of days, the GCSI rolls and the rebalancing and everything like that. So, there's a lot of a lot of inaccurate things that are going on the next 4 or 5 days. So I would wait for the dust to clear, and I'd probably wait a week. So again, the best, sometimes, in terms of trading, the best thing to do is do nothing. So I would tell you right now for the next week, do nothing.
Right.
That would be my point. Again, if you have an opinion all the time, the opinions are like, what do they call them? Tushies. Everyone has one. So, at some point, it's time to take, wait. I would really wait for probably a week from this Friday, a week from, let's see.
Because you also look at it, the end of the last week of the year, the first week of the year, it could also be a lot of tax reasons, people getting into something, getting out of something.
I look at the first 2 weeks of the year. So, I would look at probably starting next Monday, start looking at things. Right now it's too crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. And, I was thinking of you with the ACD and even just what you were just describing. I don't know if you saw, but the Japanese yen, after the Apple news, just after the start of the year, had a bit of a flash crash, and dollar yen itself traded from 108 down to 103. And, Aussie yen traded down multiple big figures and back up. And I was thinking about if that is figured into the range and use that as part of the range. While the trades did stand, it's just a huge range.
When did that happen? Did it happen January 2nd, or did it happen last year?
I think it was January 4th.
And it'd be part of the range.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of those.
I don't. Things happen for a reason, Mike. If there's someone that was willing to buy, the dollar against the yen, those things were going to crash. So that just shows you the vulnerability at different times of different currencies.
Yeah, I also think it shows the lack of human, it was at a time it was very illiquid, and also at the start of the year, which is typically illiquid. And then I just think it shows algos are the ones really controlling the market and really providing liquidity to the market in a lot of different markets. They're the bids and the offers, or at least perceived bids and offers. And then,
wait. Let's make something really clear. Algos do not provide liquidity.
Well, that's right. Well, that's what Well, it depends. They're the ones doing a lot of the trading, so
Yeah,
trading
algos do a
volume.
lot of the trading. Algos do not provide liquidity.
Yeah. So providing a lot of the volume.
Algos create a lot of volume. Algos do not provide liquidity. They're not like the market makers on the floor, the specialists on the floor. They're there just taking, take it all the way down, take it all the way up, on the way up with that. No, they do not provide liquidity. They
Right.
create a lot of volume. They do not provide a lot of liquidity.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I would wait till next week and then see how things range up and then go from there.
What about nat gas for the coming quarter? It's winter. We're trading $3 even right now.
Again, I would start to look at the March and April contract. Although I think Feb is going to go off the board strong relatively at the end, just like every other month when these things go off the board, relative because no one's going to want to be short. Especially the lower the price goes, people aren't going to want to be short. Commercials aren't going to want to be short. So I would think that the last couple of days Feb will be strong relative to March. But for now, I would stay away until Monday.
Any big consensus trades you're hearing? Everybody loves their beginning of year sort of, trade ideas. Anything that you're hearing just from a lot of friends trading, like, whether it be dollar stronger, oil higher, nat gas in this direction, equities in this direction?
Mike, if I talk to 20 people, I get 200 opinions, so it doesn't really matter.
All right. Well, that's part of it. So you're getting a lot of different opinions, not so much
Right?
just one. All right. So you're saying keep your powder dry beginning of the year, especially
And
in
wait
this liquidity.
and wait till Monday.
All right. Well, then we'll get an update
And
from
then
you after next week when
and
things
then
start to.
and then reset your stuff to see if the charts, in terms of the first of the year, ranges match up with what the conviction of what trades I want to do.
Just got a question before. Somebody was asking, what are you reading? Any whether books or articles that you're finding interesting right now?
There's a lot of stuff I read, but I like the bank credit analysts a lot. I like their publications. I like their insights. I like the way they think. I think the bank credit analyst does a great job.
All right.
All
Good
right.
stuff. All right. Thanks a lot, Mark. We'll talk to you later.
Take care.